mark year 3. Yesterday we learned how to measure the total length around a shape. We've seen your work and you're already experts, but I'm going to show you once more just in case. I'm going to need a felt tip to help me count the centimeters as I go through. So this is my square and it's placed on a grid. Each of the sides of the squares on my grid are 1 centimeter long, and that's going to help me to work out the total length around my shape. I'm going to start here. Can you count with me? 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters, 5 centimeters, 6 centimeters, 7 centimeters, and 8 centimeters. So I could say that the total length around this shape is 8 centimeters. Great work. Now, today's lesson is structured a bit differently. We're going to need our workbooks to complete some activities as we watch the video. So I'm going to ask you to pause the video and go and grab a felt tip or a colored pencil, a ruler, a pencil, and your workbook. Pause it and I'll see you in a minute. We're going to start by looking at yesterday's challenge. Your task was to complete this statement. The total length around the figure is called something. So we were saying that there was a word that we could use in order to describe the total length around the figure. Did you find out what that word was? That's it, correct. Perimeter. So when we are talking about the perimeter, we are talking about the total length around the figure. My go perimeter, your go. Excellent. So we had to find what was the perimeter, what is the perimeter of this square. And we know that the square is placed on a grid. The grid is formed by lots of black squares put together, and each side of the square is 1 centimeter long, and that's going to help us to find our perimeter. So let's start here. 1 centimeter, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we could say that the perimeter of this shape is 8 centimeters. Now grab your workbooks and let's mark yesterday's work. Activity 1 says, find the total length around each shape. And we know now that the total length around shape X is 16 centimeters. The total length around shape Y is 20 centimeters. And the total length around shape Z is 14 centimeters. I've seen your work and I know that you all use felt tips or colored pencils to mark the centimeters as you counted them. So well done. Let's look at the next page. Activity 2 says, compare the total length around each shape. And by doing the same, we know the total length around shape A is 14 centimeters. The total length around shape B is 14 centimeters. The total length around shape A and shape B is 28 centimeters. And the total length around shape A is equal to shape B. It is equal because they both are 14 centimeters. Now we also know, we've learned a new word, that when we're talking about total length around the shape, we are talking about its perimeter. So we could say the total length around shape A is 14 centimeters, or the perimeter of shape A is 14 centimeters. Great work, year 3. Today we are measuring perimeter. Okay, so this is our first task. It says, what is the perimeter of each figure? Remember, we just learned that the total length around the figure is called the perimeter. So we need to find what is the perimeter of each figure. If you can see, all of the grids have been labeled and they all say that each of the sides of the square is 1 centimeter long, and that's going to help us to give an accurate answer. Okay, because it's not the same if we are saying it's 1 centimeter long than is 1 car long or 1 kilometer long, okay? So the first figure, figure 2, is being done for us. And it says, the total length around the rectangle is 10 centimeters. The perimeter of the rectangle is 10 centimeters, okay? So both statements are saying the same, but now from today we're going to use perimeter instead of saying the total length around, okay? Now, this is what you're going to be doing in a minute in your workbooks, so please listen carefully and remember we're using a highlighter or a felt tip to mark the centimeters as we count them so we don't get confused. So let's start here. 1 centimeter, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So the perimeter of figure 3 is also 10 centimeters. Now let's look at figure 4. We are going to start here. 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Again, the perimeter of this figure, figure 4, is 10 centimeters. If you look carefully, the perimeter of each of these figures is 10 centimeters, but they all are different shape, okay? So now I would like you to have a go. You need to get your workbook and go to page 188. And we are going to complete just activity 2. It says, compare the perimeter of each figure. And we got 2 figures, figure A and figure B. And our grid has been labeled already for us. Okay, so have a look at this label here. Now, we have 4 statements to complete and to write an answer, but I would like you to please use a highlighter, a color pencil, or a felt tip to mark the centimeters as you go around the shape, because that way you won't make a mistake. Once you finish, feel free to upload a photo to class.jo if you want to show us your work, okay? Have a go and then come back when you finish. Now that you know how to find the perimeter of a figure, we've got a different task. We need to draw a figure with the same perimeter as one figure given. So here we have a purple figure and it says that its perimeter is 12 centimeters. Again, the grid has been labeled for us, so we know how are we measuring. Now we need to draw another figure in this grid with the same perimeter as the purple figure. It could be anything, but I'm just going to draw my own as an example, so then you can do your next task. So let's start. I'm going to start here. 1 centimeter, 2, 3, 4 centimeters so far. I need to go all the way up to 12. And remember, I'm just drawing the outline of the shape because that is what I'm counting later on to find out the perimeter. So I got 4 centimeters so far. 5, 6, 7. I left a gap. Do you think I should cover this gap or maybe go down? I'm going to cover 7, 8, 9. If I do a rectangle, the perimeter of my figure will be just 10 centimeters, so I might go down 10, 11, and 12 centimeters. So this is my figure. My task was to draw another figure with the same perimeter as the purple figure. The perimeter of the purple figure was 12 centimeters, and my perimeter is also 12 centimeters. So have I completed my task? Yay! Well done. Great. So now that I've shown you how to draw a figure with the same perimeter as another figure, you need to go to page 190 in your workbooks and complete just activity 2. We're not doing the whole worksheet, we're not doing the whole page, we're just doing activity 2. And it says, draw 2 figures on the grid, each with a perimeter of 10 centimeters. So you have a grid, you have exactly this same grid here. It's already been labeled for us, and you need to draw 2 figures, 2 different figures, with a perimeter of 10 centimeters. Remember, the perimeter of a figure is the total length around the figure, okay? So you need to make sure you count each of the centimeters as you draw them, and then you can feel free to color it in if you want to, but please first the outline of the shape, so it is 10 centimeters, okay? So have a go and upload your work to Class.Dojo if you want to. Doing really well today. We got a couple more tasks to go through. So, what is different on this grid? Can we still find the perimeter? So, take a couple of seconds, a minute if needed. And is there anything on this grid that is different to the grids that we've been using before? Brilliant! We know that this grid is no longer 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. We know that the side of each of the squares that form the grid are 2 centimeters long. Okay, so now we won't have to count in ones as we were doing before. 1, 2, 3. We will have to count in twos. Okay, so let's start by finding the perimeter of figure A. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. So we could say that the perimeter of figure A is 12 centimeters. Now let's have a look at figure B. 2, 4, 6 centimeters, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, and 28. 28 what? 28 apples long? 28 kilometers long? You are right, 28 centimeters. So we could say that the perimeter of figure B is, oh, it's 30 centimeters here. Who's right? Did we count properly? Well, sometimes it's good if we check our answers just to, make sure that we didn't skip any centimeters when counting. So let's check again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, and 28. We were right. So the perimeter of figure B is not 30 centimeters, it is 28 centimeters. Right. So your next challenge is to complete page 192, activity 2. And it says, draw a figure with a perimeter of 48 centimeters on the grid. So you need to use this grid and draw a figure with a perimeter of 48 centimeters. Please make sure you look carefully at the labels of this grid, okay? And remember that the perimeter is the total length around a figure. So use your pencils or highlighters to draw the perimeter of a figure, and then feel free to color it in if you want to. Once you finish, you can again upload your work to Class.Dojo. We will love to see how you are doing. Now we need to find the perimeter of this figure. How do we find it? It hasn't been placed on a grid. What could we use to find out the perimeter of this figure? Amazing! We could use a ruler to measure each side of this figure and then add them up together. So first of all, we'll have to use our ruler to measure the different sides and write down, label their length. Once we've done so, all we need to do is add them together. So we have 5 centimeters plus 3 centimeters plus 3 centimeters plus 3 centimeters equal 16 centimeters. So the perimeter of this figure is 16 centimeters. Okay, so this is the last thing I'm going to show you before we move on to our independent work. It says find the perimeter of this figure. I have here my figure, but there are no labels, so I do not know the length of each of the sides. So I'm going to use a ruler to measure each of the sides. So this side is 10 centimeters. Let's have a look at this one. This side is 5 centimeters. This side is 4 centimeters. And finally, this side is 8 centimeters. Okay, so we've got a 10, a 5, a 4, and an 8. And all we need to do now is add them all together over here to find the perimeter of the figure. So we have 10 centimeters, 10, I'm going to close it to make sure that I've done it, 8, I'm going to close it, 4, I'm going to close it, and 5. I'm going to close it. Now let's add them together. 10 plus 8 is 18. 18 plus 4 is 22. And 22 plus 5 is, did you say it? Yes, it's 27. So we know that the perimeter of this figure is 27 centimeters. You're all superstars. You worked really hard today, and I'm just going to ask you one more thing. Can you please complete page 191, page 193, and 194? I know that we've skipped some of the activities on some pages, but that's fine. We'll do those once we're back at school. So we have to do page 191, 193, and 194. Page 191, you need to find the perimeter of each of these figures. Okay, make sure you look at the labels on the grid. Page 193, you need to measure the perimeter of each figure. So you will need a ruler to measure each of the sides of a figure and then add them up together to find its perimeter. Okay. And to finish with, you need to calculate the perimeter of each figure. The figures have been already labeled for you, so what do you need to do to find the perimeter of each figure? Okay? Once you finish, you can upload your work if you want to Class Dojo. You don't have to, but if you would like to share it with Miss Downey and myself, please do so. And today's challenge is Tetris. Have you played Tetris before? If you haven't, I'm sure someone in your house has, and they'll be able to help you. All you need is 2 players, a square paper, I have attached some in today's PDF, 2 color pencils, one for you, one for the other player, a pen, and 2 dice. So all you need to do is you need to roll the 2 dice to find out the perimeter of your figure. Then you have to draw your figure on the grid, and inside of the figure, like shown in the example, you have to draw the perimeter. Then the other player will roll the dice and find the perimeter of its figure. Then they have to draw it, and so. Your challenge is, can you fill in all of the spaces? Okay, you worked really hard today. I can't wait to see your work. Have fun, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!